Brady. This is going to be exciting.
And the Geico restart zone to go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
We are back from our regular season break, and with the Lincoln Tech fall season back in full swing, we close out week 7 of competition with the Invets Xfinity Series right here, right now, on V-Speed. As always, we have to thank our sponsors for being able to put something like this on for you today. Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And Save 22. Struggling? Let's talk. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Lenke. Here alongside me in the booth is Ken Huber. We've got Eddie Smith in production, and the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras.
I think we're in for an exciting race tonight, Jacob, here at Kansas. You know, we had our off week last week. We had a great fundraising race with the ARCA cars at, I believe it was Kentucky. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Las Vegas. And of course it was Las Vegas, but had a very successful fundraising race, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of green flag racing is kind of what I'm hoping to see here tonight at Kansas.
Yes, sir. And let's take a closer look at the track that we are here with tonight. We go from 1.5 mile track in Concord to another in Kansas City. And those of you that watch the spring race know exactly the level of excitement that Kansas Speedway can bring to the schedule. First opening in the year 2001, a maximum of 20 degrees banking in the corners makes almost any line fast, and we are certain to see every inch of this tri-oval track being pushed to the limit tonight.
Absolutely. That variable banking here at this track, we're going to see cars, I think, run down at the bottom early where they got fresh tires and kind of head towards the top as the run progresses. It's kind of what Kansas is known for. Of course, we were talking to our podium finishers last week there, Jacob. If you remember, I was kind of surprised. Some were saying they were going to run the bottom, but I still think this is maybe a top handling track.
Yep. Any lane can be viable here, as we saw. However, last time we ran here was a night race, which cooled everything off a little bit. This time, we're going daytime, so I don't know how that's going to change the way everybody else is going to try and run this.
Well, speaking of how these guys are going to have to run it, we're actually in the midst of a pretty big points battle going on right now. So the graphic just came up. You can see Jonathan Cofield is leading in the points. He's got a race win. We've only got like 3 drivers locked in. That's Joseph McWhorter has got a win on the season. Seagraves has also got a win, the first win of the season at Talladega. And then we got Cofield that's got a couple of wins here, including last week. So, these guys are trying to get into the top 12 to make that cut.
Yep, no surprise seeing Mark Whitley near the top. Big surprise seeing that he hasn't won a race yet. And as we look toward the cut line, Daniel Parks sitting there with 122. Judson Curtis and Tyler Rice 1 point behind, so that cut line is going to be one highly contested point as we get towards the end of this season.
Absolutely. So while we're talking about this, why don't we take a look at our race analysis? Or actually, we'll look at the schedule. So as you can see there, we get to Las Vegas, and that actually is the cutoff race where we get to the final 12. And we'll go into Richmond with 12 cars that will be in that championship hunt, and that'll be in mid-November. And then we'll have a break probably for Thanksgiving, or we'll do Texas, and then we'll have a break for Thanksgiving, and then we'll wrap out our season in Atlanta.
Yes, I'm very excited for the tail end of this season. Pocono next week. Dover immediately following the Monster Mile always puts on a show, and like you said, finishing off the regular season in Vegas, no better way than to just gamble it all right at the end.
Let's see what these guys are up against here at Kansas tonight with our race analysis. So they'll be doing 100 laps here at Kansas under the sun. Like you mentioned before, Jacob, the last race was in the dark at night. So a little bit hotter track temperatures, I believe, that they'll be dealing with tonight. But it is evening, so it probably won't rise that much. We got a pit road speed of 45 miles an hour. They'll have 4 sets of tires available to them, 2 green-white checkers temps. They're allowed to have 100% fuel with an iRacing fixed setup, so everybody has the same setup.
Yes, and I'll be looking at a few of the drivers that have shown that they've been able to handle it at the mile and a half. Cofield in particular, I think, has a pretty good shot at going back-to-back with this.
Yeah, we've had a lot of drivers come up front and run. You know, a couple of the 04 car and the 4 car have been running up front this season. So that was Wesley Burke in the 04 that has had some good runs, but unable to, really get a good handle on Whitley, McWhorter, Cofield. Those guys have been pretty dominant, but maybe this will be the night that those win streaks for those guys get broken.
Yep, good consistency. Unable to capitalize on it as of late. As we're taking a look at, we got about a minute left in qualifying here. Burke looking at the top spot right now, which would be a major upset from what we've seen so far this season. We've normally seen McWhorter and Whitley usually locking out the top spots, but it'd be nice to have a fresh face up there.
Well, yeah, and as I mentioned, the 4 car and the 04 car have been fast, and that's Wesley Burke. And then here we've got all our onboard cameras that our guys are there. Chuck Feltz out there enjoying some race festivities there, getting ready to do this race. George Jewell out there seeing what his time is. I see Wyatt Dooling out there, and he's smiling. I wonder if he's smiling for the camera. And then I see Charles Abert. Charles Abert in the camera, give the folks a wave. And Samuel Youssef, he's out there up on the top left. So glad to see Samuel up there. We'll see what these guys can do tonight. And let's not forget about Seagraves down there at the bottom.
Yep, Frederick Seagraves 1 hour. The initial race of this season at Talladega. As we are winding qualifying to a close, let's take a look and see who got our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award. Playing upset to the rest of the field, it'll be the 04 of Wesley Burke having taken the pole, with Mark Whitley. Looks like he's going to be to his outside. Third place is going to be Judson Curtis, and rolling off P4 is Joseph McWhorter. Row 3 is going to consist of Craig Bontrager and Jonathan Cofield. Barrett Morton rolls off P7, Logan Sturgeon, and P8. Rounding out your top 10 will be the 36 of George Jewell and the 17 of Lucas Lyons.
And then rolling off in 11th will be Jamie Lipke. And on her outside will be Tyler Rice. Charles Abert will start in 13th with Samuel Youssef. We've seen the 2 onboards with those 2 guys. He'll start in 14th. Kyle Darian will start in 15th with Stephen Davis in 16th. Devontae Drain will start in 17th. Man, I like that name. And Cody Turner will start in 18th. Dave Calvert will start in the 19th position with Daniel Parks out on his outside in 20th.
Bobby Bender rolls off 21st. Wyatt Dooling in the 51 rolling off 22nd. Chuck Feltz in the Marine Machine 23rd with Dave Calvert to his outside in 24th. 25th will be Brock Price with Darren Price rolling off in 26th. Frederick Seagraves in the 59 is in 27th. Armando Melgoza in 28th. Claire Sisk rolls off 29th, with Jeremy Gardner having not taken a time in 30th. Brandon Wallace rolls off 31st, Kevin Price in 32nd, and rounding out the field in 33rd will be the 18 of Colton Sisk.
Yeah, so 33 cars out here tonight. We had actually a fairly clean race the last couple of nights, or last couple of weeks, so I'm kind of expecting that out here tonight. Kansas, known for long green flag runs, and I would like to see those green flag pit stops this race. We'll see if they can happen. I noticed during practice, it was pretty slippery out there, but those guys were probably pushing the cars harder than they need to, trying to get on the top of the board, see what they can get out of qualifying. But my hats off to our pole sitter tonight. Did a great job getting up front there. As I mentioned, Wesley Burke at the top of the broadcast, one of those cars that was maybe in the hunt for a win eventually. Maybe he can make it happen tonight.
And I think it may be tonight if the cards fall as they may. Everybody's starting to roll off the pit lane and get going. We got one pace lap getting ready to go green here at Kansas.
So I'm looking at the track temperature right now. It's sitting about 90 degrees. We're in early evening, so I think there'll be some good grip out there. The car shouldn't be too hard to handle, but these Xfinity cars, the one great thing about the Xfinity cars compared to a lot of the different cars, the trucks or the current gen cars, is these cars tend to drive a little bit slipperier on the rear, especially have to be easier on the gas. So we'll see how these guys do. They've been putting on a heck of a show this season as they're going down the backstretch heading into turn 3. Can't wait till we light the tires.
Yeah, a lot higher focus on power rather than downforce, and these cars are certainly a challenge for the uninitiated. And if you know how to get a handle on them, you're going to go fast.
Well, I expect to see the pace car ducking on the pit lane here, and we're going to send them away here. And it's going to be pretty exciting. We'll see which lane prevails out here at the start. The pace car ducks in. Jacob, take it away.
Pace car dives into pit lane as the field takes the restart zone. We are rolling. Green flag in Kansas City.
Yeah, and a heck of a run there on the outside there. You can see Mark Whitley just gets a heck of a run on the outside. I imagine he'll go straight to the bottom now with his teammate just behind him. You can see McWhorter follow his teammate right down, and now Wesley Burke is going to run back up to the top.
Yep, no surprise as we see what looks like the top 3 starting to break away. Mark Whitley, Joseph McWhorter, Jonathan Cofield.
Yeah, Cofield actually up a spot now, up to that 4th position after starting in 6th. So he got quite a good run on the start of the thing. You see these drivers down on the apron using every part of this track. And that's a nice thing about Kansas. And they want to get these runs in while the tires are still fresh, because you'll start to see these cars kind of go back to single file once they start getting heat in the tires.
We're seeing the low line start to get a little bit more traffic in it as we cut to the corners. Judson Curtis, one of the first takers of that top line, as we see him go take middle there, trying to get some position on the 49 of Bontrager.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we're looking at Burke there going down on the apron, he's got Bontrager following him right down with him. And I have a feeling that Wesley Burke is just saving those tires, let those guys be the rabbit. But he's going to have some pressure here now coming up with Bontrager coming up behind him. It almost gets in the wall there on corner exit. That was Wesley Burke there you seen. Yeah, that was a close call.
And the entrance at turn 1 on this lap, we saw the lead change hands. Mark Whitley relented to 72, Joseph McWhorter, as he's trying to chase him back down.
And those two guys are teammates, and we've seen them race each other pretty hard. That looked like more of a favor move ahead of that. And just behind those guys, you can see Cofield creeping into that picture. Cofield's got wins on this season and looking to add to those win totals. Bontrager now is gotten by Wesley Burke. You can see Bontrager now behind Jonathan Cofield, now starting to put pressure on him.
Yep, I think the top 4 is going to stay strung out, stay single file as we watch the 0-4 Wesley Burke clap the wall. I don't know if he's got any damage from that. Oh dear, he disappears for a moment as he's in the middle of a battle with Judson Curtis.
Yeah, that's scary for those guys that were around him, seeing that car disappear, but he's got it back on track. I don't notice a lot of damage there. I'm kind of taking a peek there at the right front quarter panel. I don't see a lot of damage there, but yeah, he's got to be careful. He wants to make this last a long time. He had a heck of a qualifying attempt. We'll see if he can gather this Camaro back up and get it back up front.
Yep, riding on board with Judson Curtis there, looking back at the 0-4 of Wesley Burke and the 17 of Lucas Lyons, as we got a yellow on track as the It looks as though the 96 of Bobby Bender has taken a hard lick toward the entrance of pit road, and he's going to pull it straight down. We are under yellow for the first time at Kansas.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a single car incident. We're looking back here at the replay, and I'm just seeing what happens here. He's up high. He's got the 71 just below him there. Oh, and they get together there and sends him up into the wall. And pretty much the 96 was the only victim there. So, yeah, tough break for him with that 70, getting together with that 71 car.
A nasty hit for the 96. We're on board with the 71 right here. He's taking the inside line, trying to go inside of the 96. Gets a little loose, pushes up the track, and it was all downhill from there. Very glad nobody else was involved.
That was Daniel Parks in that 71 machine. So, yeah, that was it's just tough when these tires are fresh. You're trying to get everything you can out of these cars early while the tires are fresh, and it just didn't work out for that 71 as we're looking on board there with Daniel Parks there. Kind of tight-lipped and seeing if he can gather that thing back up. I don't see any damage on that car. I didn't. It was just a light tap, but can't say that for Mr. Bender.
Nope, Bobby Bender going to more than likely have to take his fast repair for this race due to that incident.
Curious if we have any takers on pit road. So they do have 4 sets of tires, but it's still really early. It's a 100-lap race, so I imagine most drivers are staying out as we're looking here. All of our leaders are passing pit lane. A couple of people like ducking off like they might enter, but it looks like we're going to have everybody stay out as we're only not even 10 laps into this.
Yep. We're taking a look at the field as they come down and try to get resituated. Let's take a look at our Warrior Spotlight for this month. Here's to our latest Warrior Spotlight and 12 Sim Rig recipient, John Lawless. John served in the United States Air Force for 22 years as a hydraulic maintainer. He completed 5 deployments, stationed in Korea, Iraq, Sicily, and Turkey. He worked on multiple platforms like the U-2, HH-60G, and HC-130J. We are proud to have John as a member of the GLR family. I've seen him very active in the various series that we run here, and it is very good to see him in and out, and a lot of positive that's come from the giveaways that we've had.
Absolutely. So yeah, very great having him on board. Can't wait to see him out here on track. I know he's itching to get out here. As I understand it, he is taking a liking to the oval racing. You know, I always pitch for the road course racing, but I think he's got an itch for the oval racing. So I imagine we'll see him out here any day now.
Yep, we saw him in the fundraiser race. We've seen him around in ARCA, and he's just trying to get reps anywhere he can.
So I was just looking at the YouTube chat, and we just had that incident that brought out this yellow with Bobby Bender. And so somebody early before the race started gave Bobby Bender a shout out, and now Bobby Bender is one of the last cars on the field right now after getting that car repaired. We'll see if Bobby can get that thing back up tonight. But they're getting 2 by 2. And it's going to be exciting. So we got Joseph McWhorter is going to lead him to the green flag with Mark Whitley, his teammate, side by side in that 77 on the outside. Jonathan Cofield will start in 3rd. Judson Curtis on his outside will start in 4th. Craig Bontrager and Wesley Burke is in 5th and 6th. So those 2 guys are still up there and still in the sim.
Yeah, that's come across. The 71 is taking the EOL for that contact that caused the unfortunate incident with Bobby Bender, as we are doubled up, getting ready to roll through turn 3 to get this one back going.
As they go into 3 here, this is one of the things where you're setting up now. You're on a little bit older tires. I did like how Whitley got on that outside. McWhorter was really good on the outside line as well, but I think that I'd rather be in McWhorter's shoes where he's at, but that's probably a teammate move as the pace car ducks off onto pit lane.
Yep, pace car is in, and we're getting ready to go back green here at Kansas. McWhorter takes the restart zone, and away we go.
Yeah, great start. McWhorter trying to get up there in front of his teammate of Whitley, and it looks like he's going to get it done there, but he's got pressure. Cofield coming down on the inside. We'll see if Cofield's got the tires, but I think that outside line is going to allow Whitley to get the run off the corner, and it does. So Whitley is going to hang on to that position.
Yep, top 4 stringing back out, single file once again. Bontrager diving down, catching the tail of Cofield as Whitley stays up middle to try and get some more momentum on the 72.
Yeah, Bontrager taking a peek here and there, but just behind Bontrager, you got a battle there going on. So there is racing all around the track. As we've got this battle for the lead, the two teammates there. 77 a little bit loose there, trying to get on the outside of his teammate there. Couldn't quite get it done, and gathers that car back up. And it's kind of what we've seen. One of those teammates is usually driving aggressive, and the other is driving smooth.
Drops some speed off the wall there, as well as we got a battle for position. The 75 and Chuck Phelps trying to make a move on Wyatt Dooling here. Cody Turner just ahead. Dooling taking that high line, trying to keep some more momentum, as he's going to have a 2-for-1 on the 75 and the 67 here.
Yeah, and he's looking at a couple cars in front there, trying to figure out which lane he's going to take to try to get by these guys. And that's where I want to be, is up on the outside. Can he get the momentum to get alongside? No, he's going to tuck in behind. Maybe take a peek on the inside here.
Yep, Chuck Phelps lining up behind. That's the 50 of Kyle Deering up ahead. 57 jumps up to try and get behind the 51. 51 moves around the slow car. That's the 7 of Charles Abert, starting to fall back a little bit.
Yeah, Abert almost got in the wall. I believe he had to check up pretty hard. That's going to allow Phelps to get right alongside. That top line does seem to be coming in, and it looks like that he is going to clear Phelps. And maybe the 51 as well. So looking at Wyatt Dooling now, alongside Wyatt Dooling, he's going to get another position done here.
Yep, that's a 1, 2, 3 positions gained from Chuck Phelps on that move. Dooling still staying to the outside. It's not over yet.
Nope, and I'm sure that Phelps would like to get by this car. He does clear, and so give that position to Phelps and drops Dooling back a position.
Dooling's probably going to hang it out, still keeping the top line, try and get some more momentum built up. We see a little bit of a wiggle entering turn 1. Chuck Phelps rolling that bottom, keeping consistent with his line.
Yeah, these guys are doing a great job keeping it real clean back there. As we're run up to the 69 car. The 69 car getting around this track very cleanly, but I haven't talked about the 69 car too much tonight, but, I got to hand it. He's doing a nice job out there.
Yep, Jeremy Gardner making moves that only Jeremy Gardner can here. He's currently sat up in 14th, trying to chase down the 09 of Stephen Davis, and 16 of Jamie Lipke is fighting for 12.
We're looking at that 69, that premier machine getting around this place. He had a good run last night in the road course race we had at Laguna Seca. He finished second. And so, we got a car.
That's
Tyler
06 of Tyler Rice.
Oh, I don't believe this is going to bring out the caution. He went into pit lane as all the pit crews go scrambling to avoid that car coming in, and we're still green, so that's going to be a tough break. We're going to go back and take a look at this.
Well, as a positive, he's not going to have very much of a trip to get to his pit stall to take that fast repair, as we see him fighting for position right behind the 36 of George Jewell, as he just got loose off, just trying to stay in the wake of the 36. Keeps it saved in the grass, but overcorrects just a little too much, and his left front is more than likely destroyed from that one.
Yeah, that was a hard hit for that driver out there. So currently looking at some other drivers, some other action going on the track here.
Yep, looking at the battle for the third position, as Jonathan Cofield currently has that now, trying to chase down Mark Whitley and hold the 49 of Craig Bontrager back behind, as we see Judson Curtis trying to go to the outside on the fourth place car. Nothing doing. The top 6 are strung out single file.
Yeah, these guys are kind of following around in each other's tire tracks right now, trying to feel each other out, maybe get these tires going. They can go about 55 laps, about the same as 2 weeks ago. They can go about 55, 60 laps, but I think after we get to the halfway point, if we stay green, we'll start to see pit stops happen.
Yep, everybody just sticking to their own lines, trying to fan out as we exit turn 4, keep in the wake of the cars in front, as we got a little bit of a conga line going on behind the 72. I'm thinking the 72 wants to drop back and switch places with one of these guys, so he's not flooring it full throttle through here, but he doesn't have much of a choice at the moment.
Well, during all this, Wesley Burke did get a pass made on Judson Curtis. So Justin Curtis dropped back a position as Wesley Burke, our pole sitter, is trying to climb his way back up into that top 3. So he's back up into 5th, right behind Bontrager now. You can see him back there in that purplish blue car there, that 04 machine. And so far having a solid night. He had a couple of run-ins. Oh, Bontrager's loose just in front of him. Bontrager got really loose. That's going to slow him up. So these cars are tiptoeing around here. He's going to look to the inside here. Bontrager trying to defend that position. We'll see as the 04 goes into that corner. And Bontrager's going to try to hold him down to the bottom so he can't get the run off. And Bontrager's still a little loose on that car, but is going to have a little bit of momentum advantage as they head down into 1.
There's going to be a drag race all the way into the entry of turn 1. 49 of Bontrager keeping it to the top side over the 04 Wesley Burke. Burke's at the position right now, and I think Bontrager might relent as we stretch out onto the backstretch.
Yeah, and he does. And now that 29, Judson Curtis is all over Bontrager now on the inside going into 3. So Judson Curtis making himself known back in this fight. He wants to be back up in here. And it looks like he is going to clear Bontrager as they go across the start-finish line, and down on the apron he goes.
Yeah, it is certainly looking like that top lane is not holding very much momentum here at this current point. We'll see if it rubs in a little bit more and people try to start using it, but that bottom line has been dominant so far.
You're right. And, something I'm not used to seeing here. I guess I haven't run this track in about a year, but we used to run this track up high all the time, and seeing them run down low like this is very unusual for me. But when we have the new iRacing build and they update with the current NASCAR rules and everything like that, we start to see how the tracks change.
And the track temperatures are still sitting at a balmy 93 degrees as we watch on board with Craig Bontrager. He's running the middle, trying to keep in the wake of the cars in front of him and trying to get a little bit more momentum as we stretch back out on the backstretch.
Yeah, Wesley Burke now putting pressure on Jonathan Cofield. So Wesley Burke, our pole sitter, I thought he might have been sitting back. Like I said, he had a couple run-ins with the wall early in the run on the first 10 laps or so, but kind of gathered that thing up and is running really solid now and was putting some pressure on Cofield, but he's dropped back a couple of car positions. Or car lengths, I should say.
And Wesley Burke, it looks like he's pushing up a little bit into the corner, so he is on the throttle trying to get to the back bumper of that 53, and he is just costing himself a little more time to that 29 of Judson Curtis, who is hot on his trail.
Yeah, if he's not careful, he'll have to back it down, and you can see the 29 now closing back in, going to the outside, but like you said, Jacob, the outside lane really hasn't come to life like I thought it would, so guys are staying on the bottom, and I think the 04 there is cooling his tires back down and maybe going to try to run away from the 29, but I don't know. The 29 is gaining.
Yep, everybody's starting to stretch out a little bit. McWhorter having a 0.5 of a second gap as we watch Curtis make a jump to the inside on the 04. 04's got the 29's got a quarter in on the 04. Wesley Burke having forced to stay outside as the 29 tries to make that pass through the trioval.
I feel like every time I talk about the 04, something happens, he starts going backwards. So maybe I should stop talking about him because I was kind of rooting for him tonight, so I need him to get up there. But he's going to put some pressure back on that 29, but I think he doesn't really have anything for him at the moment. And that's allowing Bontrager just behind him to creep back into this picture.
Well, up to this point, he has been doing his best work when they are the one you least expect. When we don't talk about them, that's when they start putting in the work.
And you can see him down there on the apron, still looking for a way back by the 29 car of Justin Curtis, but nothing doing so far. Taking a little bit lower line. And like you said there, Jacob, I think he's getting on the throttle just a little too soon there, and the car is washing up the track and heating up that right front, and he's just losing the momentum off the corner.
Yep, pushing it into the corner, trying to stay in the wake of the 29. Might have heated up his tires a little bit too much as we get towards the 28 lap mark on this next circuit.
Yeah, our leader really hasn't changed up front. McWhorter's still leading this thing. Mark Whitley just behind him. So not a whole lot going on with these two guys. You know, Jonathan Cofield is in this picture. Jonathan Cofield, after watching him several races, I mean, you gotta agree, Jacob. He's very good at just hanging back and letting the race play out into his hands. He doesn't really force anything.
Yep, good at sitting, watching, waiting, making the move that he needs to right at the moment that it's going to work out best for him, as he sits currently in third, following behind the 77 of Mark Whitley. Another guy that we've talked about a lot as he gets a little loose exiting the trioval. Very good, like good at keeping track position, but he just does not have the win that would seal him in yet.
Yeah, we see him in the other series. He's got quite a few wins in other series, but so far he's been dry here in the Xfinity series. So I'm sure he'd like to get that win and get himself locked into the championship. But I think he's a strong enough driver. He's probably going to end up in there in points anyway, as long as he shows up every week.
Yep, I'm sure a lot of people are wanting to see Mark Whitley go up there and challenge McWhorter for that win. Not just because it would mean it would mean somebody like that's higher up in the points would get that win and sort of take the stress off of somebody else getting booted out by a lower driver. But if those two get at it and end up wrecking, that opens up the door for someone else getting another win.
That's true. That's very true. And that's kind of, like you said, that's what these drivers are hoping for. Starting to creep up on some more lap traffic here. Just looking here, Joseph McWhorter's got Claire Sisk just ahead of him. They're starting to put these guys down. So Claire Sisk currently running in the 30th position. As we're looking at Stefan Davis head his pit lane. I think he spun to his pit lane.
Yep, 09 to Stefan Davis. It looked like he might have got, exit of turn 4, just like we saw from the 06, ends up running it down into the pit lane, gets it stopped before they hit the pit wall, and then just toes to their pit stall.
Yeah,
so,
I wonder if he was past his pit stall, and that's why he did that. And that's what you do is we're watching this battle on track unfold here.
Yeah, that might have been the case. The 17 of Lucas Lyons under fire from some of the heavier hitters that we have in the sport tonight. We got George Jewell lined up right behind him, the 26 of Logan Sturgeon, Jeremy Gardner, and Barrett Morton all fighting for that 7th spot.
Yeah, Jeremy Gardner making his way up through the field. Jeremy Gardner started in the 30th position, currently running in 11th, now 10th, I believe it is. So he's actually 9th. So he's made up quite a few positions in that 69 car.
Jeremy Gardner once again doing Jeremy Gardner things as he makes his way to the inside of teammate George Jewell. Logan Sturgeon probably not going to give too much of a fight here, but he is running that outside lane and trying to get some more rubber in there for later.
Yeah, George Jewell having a decent night. He's up one position on the night, just there behind Jeremy Gardner. You can see George Jewell there. We got his onboard camera, but he's under pressure right now. He's got Logan Sturgeon just behind him. Looked like Logan Sturgeon was about to make an attempt there. Oh, but Logan gets into the wall. You see just behind that black car, that is Logan getting into the wall. So that's going to slow Logan down. He isn't going to make the pass this round.
Yep, George Jewell, one of those drivers that he has the skill to run up front. It's just the brakes have not fallen the way that they need to for him to have a good result more often than not. He always ends up getting caught in something or making mistakes. We see the 26 make some solid wall contact there as he's going to get passed by the 9. But George Jewell is one of those guys that just does not give up, no matter how difficult it can be, as he's trying to make up spots and get to that 8th position from Lucas Lyons.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you got to do. You just got to be persistent and just hit your marks. Try not to race your competitors too much. Just focus on the track and get out there, hit your marks. And eventually the top 5s and the wins will start coming, and it's a matter of disciplining yourself not to get into big battles for long extended time. You can see him riding behind Lucas Lyons just ahead of him there. But that's how you put a solid drive. We got a car out, just come off pit lane, it looked like. Just came up in front. I think that was a car that was on the apron there. I want to say that was Darren Price in the 29 car. Yeah, I believe it was. So not sure what happened there, but Darren Price came up in front of everybody. I thought there was going to be a big incident there.
Yep, Darren Price, we're going to take another look there. He's just slow. Like we're watching him go through the tri-oval now. It might have made some wall heavy wall contact entering turn 1. And then just pushes it back up the track because the momentum, like he goes onto the apron and it just pulls him right back up across the track. I'm sure he's hurt, and I'm sure he's going to be wanting to get the pit road to fix that here soon.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a big incident there, but it turned out it wasn't, and you can see him down there now headed into turn 3. I was going to say pit lane from that angle there, but it was turn 3. As you got Jamie Lipke there going around him on the outside.
Yep, and he is going to make his way down.
Oh.
No, misses pit road, misses the commitment cone. That's going to be a penalty for the 68.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, as they say, and man, it's raining buckets right now on him.
I'm not sure you're supposed to be going through that many pit boxes on entry, but it's iRacing, so I guess it's not that consequential. We're watching another battle on track, the 50, under fire from the 35 of Samuel Joseph.
Yeah, Samuel Joseph, we haven't talked about him tonight, putting in a good showing there. Kind of running, here's his onboard camera. It's always fun to ride along with these guys and see what they're doing in their sim rigs, what their room looks like and what their sim rig. He's got that big old smile, so you know he's watching the broadcast. So I'll tell you what, Samuel, don't watch it too much and don't focus on your line there. Oh, we got a car sideways there. I was watching something else. That was a close call, but good job there, Samuel.
Samuel trying to track down that 50 of Kyle Deering for the 15th spot. We got Wyatt Dooling having a black flag here. I think that might have been the car that you were talking about before.
Yeah, there was a car just totally sideways on the track there. Wasn't sure what was going on, and it kind of threw me off there as we were on board there with Samuel. But I think they got it straightened up. We're looking at Lucas Lyons now up there in that 17 car. Currently having a solid run, up a couple spots from his 10th place starting position, but now he's getting past there. He's got George Jewell going underneath, and we were just riding on board with George Jewell. George Jewell finally got that position made. Oh, I thought that was going to be a close wall contact, but you can see Lucas fighting back on the inside, down on the apron, and the bottom line has been working here as they go into one.
Yep, and as we saw before, Lucas was very barely struggling to hold off that gaggle of cars behind. Jeremy Gardner having gone past, trying to track down this 49 of Bontrager, and now Lucas Lyons is under fire from the 36 of George Jewell.
Yep, still side by side. They're keeping a good distance between each other, kind of racing each other clean, and that's what you like to see out here. You can see, George gets a little bit loose there and had to give that position back to Lucas. So he almost had it, but then a lap later finds himself now having to look at the back bumper of Lucas again.
And if George Jewell regroups, he will be fighting off the 9 of Barrett Morton. As we got another battle for P2 right here. The 53, Jonathan Cofield has caught the 77 of Mark Whitley as Joseph McWhorter is kind of driven away from these guys. They got Brock Price in between as a lap car. 77 dropping all the way down, trying to shake the 53 of Jonathan Cofield, but nothing new.
Yeah, not happening just yet. Cofield, this is about the time he starts turning it on. They're about 10 laps away from probably a mandatory pit stop based on fuel mileage, but we did have that caution flag, so they're probably able to go probably to lap 60. But we are lap 43 here, so they're coming up on pit stops, and Cofield would probably like to start making up some positions so he can have a clean pit road entrance.
Yep, everybody's trying to figure out what strategy they want to take. They're up on the 57. That is the 57 of, I believe it's Cody Turner. That is his first race here in GLR. He joined, I want to say, maybe an hour and a half before the session. So he's trying to get some good reps in with these guys. I don't think there's very many better ways to get good knowledge of the track and the field around you than being up in here. Whoa! Very slow. It looked like he was trying to make his pit stop as he misses the pit entrance as well. Almost gets nailed by Judson Curtis. We almost had a replay of the Vegas race in Cup last week.
He's driving the lawn service car, so I kind of thought he was going to go down there and take care of that lawn, but he somehow avoided it, and that's hard for me to believe. He's in a custom lawn service car, and he doesn't hit the lawn. What's up with that, Jacob?
Wrong place, wrong time, and I think that might have been resulting in a penalty had he not committed on that cone. But all it did was lose him a bunch of spots, and he is going to be trying to get to pit road this time.
A free shout out there to Turner's Lawn Service. Let's see if he can avoid the lawn this time. He's now got it down on the apron. I think he's going to take a little bit safer approach to get this pit stop done.
Yep, backing it down, getting it down to speed as he needs to, and it is good. He makes the commitment cone at speed, and he is in the pits getting ready to get his service. I'm sure his pit crew is going to have a laugh about that one.
Yeah, they are. We got a couple cars. We got the 57 Cody Turner, as we just mentioned. Frederick Seagraves is now on pit road. So we're starting to see some of this pit stop action start to happen here as we're almost to the halfway point of this race.
Yep, Frederick Seagraves running a Dark Fusion Systems car. I believe that is the teammate of Cody Turner, if I am not mistaken, as he makes his way off of pit lane. Joseph McWhorter, 0.7 of a second ahead of the field. And as we get ready for pit stops, let's thank one of our sponsors, Ken.
Yeah, let's thank Save 22. They've been with Goat Locker forever. Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Their unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate. Save 22. Very awesome organization here. As you know, that Goat Locker is very dedicated to our veterans and first responders. And so it's kind of excited. We're both veterans and first responders here, Jacob, and it's always a pleasure working with you. So you can see, even with not only on the track, even in the broadcast booth, we got veterans working with this organization.
Yes, sir. Save 22, one of the core sponsors and one of the core supporters of Goat Locker Racing, and for that we very much thank you. As we watch the 04 of Wesley Burke starting to make up a little bit of ground, getting around the 29 of Judson Curtis for that 4th spot.
Yeah, I don't know if Wesley Burke was listening to our commentary there about backing that machine down a little bit and saving those tires, but yeah, he's starting to get back up there now. I thought he was going to make an entrance to pit road here. It kind of looked like he was dipping down there, but no, we're at the halfway point for him. So I imagine we'll start seeing pit stops momentarily for most of our field. There'll be some brave ones that'll stay out and hope for that caution, though.
Yep, next time around, Joseph McWhorter, he's on the backstretch now, but when he crosses the start-finish line, we will be halfway home with this race. Lap 50 we are on right now as we are getting ready to see that green flag pit stop cycle, and hopefully we have a good finish out of it.
One thing I have noticed with McWhorter, that now that we're on him, that he has lost a little bit of time. He almost had a full second lead over his teammate, Mark Whitley, and Mark Whitley has reeled him in now to a little over half a second right now. So he is starting to lose that gap, and that 77 is creeping into the picture. But Jonathan Cofield, who I'd mentioned previously too, who is really strong on the long run, is actually starting to fall off the pace a little bit. He's almost a little over a second and a half back.
Yep, Cofield a second and a half back off of Whitley, and then a second and a half back off of him would be Wesley Burke. He has fallen off, but he is to a point where he's just kind of in limbo right now. He's probably saving a little more, trying to anticipate where the leaders are going to go in from the pits, as he's not going to want to be like right up on them when they go, for fear of maybe like making contact or something like that. We got some other takers that we're looking at.
This is going to be awesome here, Jacob. Right now we are potentially looking at green flag stops, and I'm really excited about this. So it's been a while since I've seen green flag stops. I don't want to jinx it. We go back to McWhorter. Oh, and there's car up in the wall just ahead of him there. But I think there was some lap cars. I think it was Daniel Parks and David Colbert up there ahead of him. But yeah, there's a couple of guys fighting just ahead of McWhorter as he's creeping into that picture.
Yep, it looks like everybody made it through unscathed here, as we see the 17 of Lucas Lyons still ahead of the 36 of George Jewell for that 8th position, and they're working on lap traffic right now, trying to get home to the pit cycle here.
Yeah, that's the 43 car there, Brock Price, that they're getting around now. Kind of I want to say, kind of a Richard Petty color scheme, a little bit different there. He gets down on the apron there and lets these guys go. But there we're looking at him. I think he's headed to pit lane to get his service done on that car.
Yep, MK Fire Designs on the hood of that Flag City Racing Chevrolet, as we're watching him take the commitment cone here and get to his pit stall. Yeah,
it's an awesome scheme there. MK Fire Designs, one of our new sponsors this season in the GT3 series on Saturday night. It's great having them on board with us. Hits his pit box, it'll be 4 tires and fuel, and get him back out there.
Yep,
back with our leader.
Yep, as it sits right now.
Still, no, I'm sorry. You take it there, Jacob.
As it sits right now, Joseph McWhorter is sitting a little over 0.9 of a second over Mark Whitley as we get toward the wire of the pit window here. Getting around another lap car. That's the 90 of David Calvert. He will be marked as the first car a lap down as we get started on the pit cycle here.
Yeah, going to pass by right now. Everybody going by pit lane. So we are, I don't know, 55 laps in or so. So these guys, I imagine we had that caution, so that's why I figured they can make it to at least lap 60. And then, of course, tire wear. There we can see a lot of cars headed to pit lane currently, is with that camera view there.
Yep, that's Lucas Lyons. That's a 17. He's the highest runner to try and take the stop thus far. Jamie Libke, and as well, that is the Daniel Parks has been in as well, and everybody's going to start to try and. Yep, George Jewell take this down, and we're going to get a little bit more information on the further rest of the stops here.
Now the question is, when we'll see our leaders pit. It's always one of those things where you're looking at as we're watching these guys get their tires and fuels. One of the things when you're leading or in the top three is how to time where your pit stop is going to be, where you can maximize that tire wear for the end of this run. And who's going to be the guy that goes in first. And they might not have a choice if they stay out too much longer. As we're watching McWhorter go around Jamie Lipke, who's currently a lap down.
Yeah, that'll be Claire Sisk in the 12
I'm
going
sorry,
a lap down as well, trying to track down Charles Abert, who is currently the last car on the lead lap. McWhorter starting to work on cutting it close as we got some more of our lead pack taking it down the pit lane. That is the 04 Wesley Burke and the 29 of Judson Curtis trying to get some fresh rubber on those cars.
Yeah, Colton Sisk in there as well, all going down to get their service down. So while we still got our leaders on track, a lot of guys are, like you said, our pole sitter getting his fuel and tires done. There comes the current leader, McWhorter and Whitley, down on pit lane. Let's see if Cofield comes down with them, and he does. So all three, the top three, come down on pit lane.
Yep, this is probably going to be the decider of what of the order that everything shakes out once the cycle is over. McWhorter's starting to slow, get into his pit stall, and is he going to make his good stop? Yes, he does. Everybody able to make it into their stall? No, Jonathan Cofield has to back up and go forward. He was too far to the left, and he's going to get passed up by Bontrager. He's going to lose a ton of time.
Yeah, he's definitely not going to get back up into the at least second, as we see McWhorter lead pit lane ahead of Whitley there. So McWhorter keeps the lead, well, at least the lead off of pit lane over his teammate Mark Whitley. Cofield now headed out, but look who's behind him. I believe that's the 69 of Gardner.
Yep, Jeremy Gardner having capitalized on the miscue by Jonathan Cofield. He's going to have a tough time trying to get around, as we are seeing the previous takers trying to get around here. Jonathan Cofield and Gardner merging just behind the 17 as Wesley Burke is trying to get some position on the 77 here.
Yeah, we got old tires, new tires, lap cars. We got everything going on here as our leaders are going by. Just a lot of things going on. Daniel Parks has stayed out on the track, is currently leading this thing. We haven't talked about Daniel Parks, but out there trying to hang on, probably hoping for a caution, but I believe he's going to be headed pit lane here shortly.
Yep, he's got to be. After taking some time on one of the previous cautions to go and maybe get some damage fixed from that contact, he's been out on track for 53 laps, so he's going to be cutting it close on fuel here shortly.
Yeah. So I'm just watching these guys get around the track here. McWhorter and Whitley almost, I thought they were almost nose to tail. Got the 04 Wesley Burke just behind Whitley. So Wesley Burke has cleaned that car back up and starting to look really strong again. So I think he might have learned some lessons on that first stint. And if he can keep that momentum up, he might have a chance at these guys. And as soon as I mention it, what happens? He goes up there and rubs that wall.
Yep, Wesley Burke pushing, trying to keep up with the 77 and 72 as they hit the lap traffic here. Maybe pushing a little too hard. They're getting around the 12. That is Claire Sisk once again. 04 going to have a tough task ahead to try and get past these guys. Yeah,
I got to stop bringing him up there, Jacob. So I seem to be ruining his night tonight, but he's still got the chance. The car still looks clean. So I think it was just a little love tap, and there it was again. I think that was a little bit of net code tap that time, but we're looking at Lucas Lyons now. Lucas Lyons, he's got a lap car ahead of him. That's Colton Sisk again. Or no, that's I'm sorry.
That's 88 of Brock Price. Or
Brock
Kevin Price rather.
Me.
So we're taking a look. Lucas Lyons under fire from the 53 of Jonathan Cofield. Cofield having gotten around the 39 of George Jewell as he is running 7th currently. Jeremy Gardner running close in his way.
Yeah, Jeremy Gardner creeping into this battle. So we'll see what happens here with these two guys. Judson Curtis now. Oh, there we go. Justin Curtis looking down on the inside. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong car.
Yep, Jonathan Cofield running to the inside of another Bandit's car. The 17 of Lucas Lyons trapped up top there as Jeremy Gardner waits in the wings trying to see if there's going to be a position that he can take to get past him as well.
Yeah, Lucas taking another peek down there as they go into 3 and 4 here. Nothing doing just yet. Jeremy Gardner, they got to be careful. They got a batch of cars just ahead of them. Got Claire Sisk, Colton Sisk, bunch of lap cars ahead of them, a bunch of cars on pit lane as well. But these guys are going by right now. And it looks like
Dave-
Parks did make that pit stop. Oh, we got a car on the wall.
That's the 12 of Claire Sisk trying to get out of the way of the leaders, but they might have relented a little too much as they come up and make some wall contact. Everybody's starting to string out here once again.
So the caution didn't pay off for Parks, so he finally had to go in and get that pit stop made as we're watching. Oh, they get...
Oh, Colton Sisk goes around.
Oh, man.
Caution is out, makes contact with the 53 of Jonathan Cofield, and that is going to throw a wrench into some of the races up in the front here.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage this caused. We would go back and look at the replay here.
They're diving to the inside, trying to get to the inside of the 90 of David Calvert here. They might have either gotten arrow moved or made some quick contact, but they ended up sliding sideways, made contact with the 53, took the nose off of the 17, and that is going to be some headache for some of our front runners here tonight.
Yeah, after we had that, there you go. Another look at it right there from Jonathan Cofield here. Just nowhere to go. So that 18 gets up in the rear quarter of the other car. And Cofield, I don't think he has too much damage, but this is an aero track, so you don't want to have any damage on your car here really at Kansas.
If there's any time to go and make sure that you don't have any right now, take that fast repair, just go down to the pits, get those tires right now, because it'll put you at an advantage. It'll be about a 10 lap advantage by the time we go green if you do go down and take them now.
Yeah.
On the leader, if we end up running this one out green. Sorry.
What I always look at too is when I'm up there as we're watching these cars head to pit lane, we've got all our leaders, you know. If everyone wasn't coming to pit lane, it looks like most cars are headed to pit lane. But what I was going to say there is you got to also look at how many cars are on the lead lap. And when that caution came out, it was 15 cars. Daniel Park, the last car on the lead lap, I'm surprised he was able to stay out there and stay on the lead lap, but good for him. But, you know, you want to know how many positions you're going to have to make up. And 15 is pretty decent since we still have 33 laps to go.
It's going to be rough. And if I'm not mistaken, outside of Wesley Burke, I think Lucas Lyons, having gotten most of the damage in that, has also stayed out here. I don't know if it's going to mean he's going to try and take the pit on the 1 to go lap, or what that means.
I think that means he's going to stay out. There's no other strategy that plays out in my head that you'd want to stay out like that unless you're just going to stay out. So he might want to stay out and hope for another caution and everybody come back down pit lane. So that's my best guess. We'll see. Or maybe he just got caught off guard. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Lucas stayed out like that.
It looked like he had some pretty substantial contact from that. I don't foresee that there's going to be very much there, as we're looking at 77 of Mark Whitley dropping down positions here.
Yeah, that's I wonder if he got a black flag there. Maybe speeding on pit lane. I'm looking here, see if I can figure out what happened to Whitley.
Yep, he's relenting spots. He might have sped on pit lane here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the penalty, so yeah, it had to have been a penalty there. So yeah, tough break for Whitley. So all kinds of drama happening here as we're getting into the closing laps of this race. It was clean and green until it wasn't, and now we've got all kinds of drama unfolding here as we're watching the cars get reshuffled. There's also some McWhorter's trying to get up there to his position, so there's a bunch of traffic up there. The cars are trying to get sorted out. You can see it's kind of a jumble of cars back there as everybody's trying to get their position sorted out.
There's a lot of jumbling going on right now, but the only things that we have right here for certain, Wesley Burke is going to be your leader here, taking them too wide down the backstretch, trying to get everybody sorted through. The lights are still on the pace car, so we're doubled up. We're going to go around one more time, and I think we're going to get this back down.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here, but Burke going to take him to the green flag. So Burke, you know, having a pretty solid night here so far. Started in first, but he is him and Lucas Lyons out there on a little bit older tires. They're going to have their work cut out for him. So not sure what the strategy is here, but you can see McWhorter back there behind him warming up those tires, getting ready to maybe get around those guys. Also, let's not forget about Craig Bontrager back there in the 49. He's also having a solid night now too. And then we got Cofield probably able to get that quick repair, like you said there, Jacob, currently running in 5th, and so I think he's pretty safe so far.
I'm looking at it right now, and I don't think Cofield took his fast repair on that. He may have just gone in, gotten some of that damage fixed, and come right back out. So he's going to roll off 5th with no visible damages, it looks like.
Yep, that's probably the case. So another driver that we have talked about is that 69 car. I'm not going to say his name because I'm getting tired of saying his name, but he has ran up to that 6th position, and he started in 30th, probably our biggest mover of the race. So congrats to Jeremy for that move, and we still got 30 laps to get this done.
Yep, and I'm sure he can. I'm getting tired of saying some other names, but one name that I will never get tired of is Big Daddy Jeremy Gardner, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one shakes out for him.
Well, we're about to find out as the pace car is about to duck onto pit lane. Wesley Burke's going to lead him to the green flag. Let's see what he can do here.
Gets him back into the restart zone. Wesley Burke in the 0-4 going to lead him back to green here at Kansas.
And Wesley does get a good start there. He's got McWhorter right on him, pushing him along, trying to get around Lucas Lyons, a little bit older tires. I think as soon as McWhorter can get Lucas cleared there, but Lucas is fighting on the outside. And then you can see the 4 almost goes up. They're going to split. They're going to split Wesley Burke. Wesley Burke, the middle of that sandwich right now. McWhorter down low, Lucas up high, and they are 3 wide going into 3.
0-4 is going to be sucked like a sitting duck. Lucas Lyons getting loose on the bottom. Jonathan Cofield taking the advantage as Joseph McWhorter jumps right back out to the lead.
Yeah, both those cars were super loose on those, both the Lucas Lyons and Wesley Burke. Both those cars were super loose on those old tires on that restart. And you can see now Gardner's going around the 0-4 of Wesley Burke right now. So move Gardner up to that 3rd position. Gardner creeping into this hunt.
The old tires dropping like a rock. Lucas Lyons already out of the top 10. Wesley Burke trying to make the most out of the positioning here, but we got McWhorter, Cofield, and Gardner taking the advantage, and Bontrager may try to look for 4th.
Yeah, and I'm watching the 0-4, and he's really struggling with rear end grip on that car. Every time he comes out on exit of the corner, you can see that 4 getting a little sideways there. That allows Bontrager right up on his back bumper. Bontrager clips him a little bit, and really not Bontrager's fault, but that 4 is struggling with rear tire grip right now, and Bontrager's going to get around him.
Bontrager said, "Get out of my way if you're on old tires." He gave him the bumper, pushed him up, and 0-4 is lucky he didn't make wall contact because that would have resulted in a bit of a catastrophe as he's starting to fall down now as well.
Yeah, Justin Curtis in the 29 gets by him. So, like I said, that's another one of those drivers that stayed out and is going back just like Lucas Lyons did. So falling back quickly. So not sure the strategy that those two guys were employing there, but it doesn't seem to be paying off.
Yep, looking at the top 5 right now, McWhorter, Cofield, Gardner, Bontrager, Judson Curtis making a move to the inside of Bontrager for that 4th spot.
Yeah, you can see Justin Curtis down there on the inside, down on the apron, trying to get the run. That seems where the preferred line has actually been here at Kansas for a change. So he's down there on the bottom, see if he can get by. If I'm the 29, I want to get by as quickly as possible so I don't heat up my tires, and he does. It looks like he's able to slip in front of Bontrager.
Not quite yet. Bottom line through 1 and 2 is the preferred, and he's going to try and dive on the 69, trying to get that 3rd spot from Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah, wow, that was all of a sudden he just found all kinds of speed there in that 29. So Justin Curtis now working on the 3rd place position there, Jeremy Gardner. Yeah, he's down there on the inside. Gardner is going to give up this position currently. We'll see if Gardner's got any outside momentum here as they exit 2, and it looks like he's going to be able to slip in front of him.
Hey, if it fits, it ships. It's made him the fastest car on the track right now. He's trying to track down Cofield for 2nd.
It's exciting to see Justin Curtis starting to put on a show now. He knows he's got to get up there, but I got to wonder if he may be pushing those tires a little hard with 25 to go. It's still a lot of time on these ovals here to be pushing that hard.
But at the same time, you don't want to let as big a gap form as we've seen from some of the previous runs that we've had. Cofield already almost 0.5 of a second back from McWhorter. If you're up close to them, you have a better shot of getting in their head and making them make a mistake. But if they're just driving away, they're going to be looking in the mirror as like, oh, it's just a nice Sunday drive for me.
Or, just trying to get track position, just banking on hopefully there's going to be another caution, He might be one of those guys that very good at sprinting, but I don't know. He's putting on quite a show here. I want to see if he can get up there. So hats off to the 29. We'll see if he can keep it up. So Gardner is actually falling back into the clutches of Bontrager right now. So Gardner's slipping back just a little bit, just eases into the wall just a little bit. Now he's got Bontrager right behind him.
Top 5 kind of separating themselves from the rest of the pack right now. Bontrager and Gardner, Judson Curtis and Jonathan Cofield making fights right now. We're on board with the 49 of Bontrager. Has had a bunch of good runs this season, but hasn't really been able to capitalize. Let's see if he can hold on to this top 5.
As they go into one here, nice and easy, trying to find the weakness Jeremy Gardner's got here. As we've been watching Jeremy Gardner, it looks like the rear end wants to step out a little bit, but they're going to keep themselves in the same tire tracks as they go down the backstretch here.
Yep, just trying to get it down to that line, but pushing up a little bit too far on exit here. We watched the car try to rotate. He keeps it safe, and it looks like somebody is trying to take that middle line to defend or get some more attack on the second position. That's Justin Curtis that was up in the middle there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was watching that battle while you were talking there, Jacob, and Justin Curtis made an attempt on Jonathan Cofield there. Couldn't quite get it done. Made an attempt on the front stretch to get that pass done. Couldn't do it. And let's see if he'll make another attempt here as they go back onto the front stretch. Oh, no. Justin Curtis gets loose there. A little bit of apron touch there. He's going to lose a position now as other cars go by. So Justin Curtis made, as Jeremy Gardner gets by, and Bontrager.
The lap car Melgoza almost playing spoiler for the rest of the top 5 there, but Jeremy Gardner and Bontrager are able to make it past the 29 of Judson Curtis, as those two are going to have free reign to try and chase Cofield down.
Yeah, that little bit of apron touch that the 29 had, that was enough to send him back a couple positions. So he's making such, oh, we're under caution.
Yellow is out.
Let's say that was Wyatt Dooling maybe. And Cody Turner, it looks like. Something happened back there, these guys.
Those two both in Dark Fusion cars. Oh, we got Dooling. Looks like he might have had a tire down. Exit a turn 4, and he just plants it against the front stretch wall. Trying to chase down Charles Abert. That might have been for, yeah, that was for position there because they were both a lap down at the time. He is pushing it, putting as much as he can into it. And he just loses it on exit of turn 4, tries to turn it to the left, and he cannot because that steering rack is just completely destroyed from that contact.
Well, he's not dueling with his competitors anymore. He's just dueling with the wall. So tough break for Wyatt. Oh, and then we had the lawnmower machine go by, the lawn service machine, the Turner, Cody Turner clip him there. So Cody Turner actually after that incident gets into the wall.
That is unfortunate.
We've got all our leaders on pit road.
Yep, everybody trying to go for that fresh rubber. It'll take them all the way to the end now. So you can push a little bit more with less than 20 to go here. Curious to see how far everybody else is going to try and push this one to the end.
What we're about to have is a shootout. And it's going to be interesting. So you got Gardner up there. You got Justin Curtis, who's been really strong on the short run. So he's going to be strong. These guys can pretty much now stretch it out and get pretty hard on these tires. We'll have about 15 to go when the green flag flies. So we'll see how hard these guys are going to push it for that last 15.
Looks as though we had a 2-tire taker. Barrett Morton going to be out first of pit road, but we had one car stay out on 15-lap-old tires, and that'll be the 71 at Daniel Parks inheriting the lead.
Now, if you remember, Daniel Parks stayed out and led some laps prior to the last set of green flag stops and ended up the last car on the lead lap. He's back in the lead. I don't know if you watched those other two guys, how quickly they went back. He's going to be back to the last car on the lead lap, maybe, because these guys are going to be very hungry, especially in the closing laps of the race. But you know what? Throw caution to the wind and see what happens.
Yep, try and make sure that you know what you're doing before you make a gamble like this. 15 lap old tires by the end of this one. That's going to be a little toward the 30 lap mark on these tires. I don't think they're going to last too much longer, especially with the fresh tires going to be right behind them off the restart.
Yeah, the fresh tires behind them are going to be like hungry monsters. They are not going to waste no time with cars up there on older tires. It's just something you can't do in the closing laps of the race. So you end up being a sit and duck, and hopefully you don't cause anything to happen. One thing, though, that I have seen, one of the interesting strategies is during restarts, a lot of times we'll see a caution flag fly, and then as soon as we take the green flag, it goes back to caution. And if that happens for the 71 of Daniel Parks, then he can ride out caution flag after caution flag and maybe keep in that top 5.
Yeah, get those points. We're not going to have a good sample size here, but we are going to see the 3 different strategies, like right 1, 2, 3 right here. So you got fresh tires with Cofield and McWhorter. You got 2 tires with Morton on the outside, which is probably going to be the best case scenario for him. And then we got the older tires of Daniel Parks. We're going to see how everybody's going to try and get a jump off of this restart.
So you're out there in fresh tires, and you're behind these 2 guys, the 71 and the 9 car, Jacob. Well, you want to be on the high side, or do you want to be on the low side? Who do you want to follow?
I want to give myself the most room possible to let them make their errors, and we're going to see that right now as we get to the restart zone and go back green at Kansas.
And you can see right now McWhorter all over the back bumper of 71 of Parks. Gives him a little shove there. Parks slow off the line. That outside line is going. You called it there. Barrett Morton on those 2 tires pulling out there, and now that allows Cofield up to that 2nd position. Now Cofield is sniffing the lead. The 71 is just going straight backwards.
With help from Jonathan Cofield, Barrett Morton got pushed past the 71 of Parks there. Parks already out of the top 10 as Jonathan Cofield leads for the first time today.
I'm actually kind of surprised, but not surprised. He's won a bunch of races already here so far. Was kind of looking a little peaked there, but now he's super strong. He's got the lead, and now the call of order here is whether he can keep it, as he's got McWhorter creeping on the back of his bumper, and he wants that lead back.
15 to go. We're down on the backstretch. Jonathan Cofield having taken the lead. Joseph McWhorter in second. Craig Bontrager back up into the top 3 conversation. Barrett Morton on those 2 tires fighting off Jeremy Gardner for 4th.
Yeah, awesome race. Oh, we're under caution. This is what I was talking about. So another caution out. It looks like maybe the 59 is slowing the track. Up to 17. Oh, Lucas Lyons. Something with Lucas Lyons there in the 17.
That's the 50 of Kyle Deering sitting there on the front stretch into the tri-oval, and he has towed. So we're going to take a look at what contact was made here. We got the 50 making entrance into turn 3 here, taking the bottom, trying to rotate it, whoa, my goodness! 17 of Lucas Lyons was in the middle of the track, nowhere for the 50 to go.
Yeah, there you go. You can see, they're 3 wide there. Lucas gets on the inside, and he's just a sitting duck there. He's got the Whitley down there on his inside as they go into turn 3 here, and everything nice and stable. 77 goes up a little bit. Lucas gets loose and then overcorrects it right into the wall and then spins down in front of everybody, and you can see the 51 just gets hard into him.
Lucas with that air movement just lost it. There's more contact further back. Nothing he could do in that situation except for back off, and if you've known him for a long time, you know that's not going to happen.
Well, we're going to reset and set up for another shootout here, Jacob. So Jonathan Cofield currently leading this thing. I'll be interested to see what lane he takes. I imagine it looks like the bottom might be the strongest. Joseph McWhorter will be starting in second with Craig Bontrager and Barrett Morton in third and fourth, respectively. 69 in fifth, and Judson Curtis in sixth. Justin Curtis also very strong out there tonight.
Yeah, very strong. He's probably going to put the most into those fresh tires like we saw on him before. Cofield is going to have the biggest decision of his life to make to try and keep that damn 72 behind him.
Yeah, and that 72 has been strong all night. Pretty much led most of this race with the exception of pit stops and a little bit of drama going on with the field with strategy and stuff like that. But, speaking of which, we were talking about Parks staying out. We didn't catch it on the cameras, but when that started, Daniel Parks went straight to the back. Daniel Parks now is sitting a lap down. So by staying out there on old tires, it ends up a lap down. And that's how fast things can change.
That's the gamble you kind of had to make there. Like it got him some lead laps, but it didn't really result in too much else. Well, as we're waiting for one to go, let's thank another one of our sponsors here. Let's talk about the title sponsor for the Xfinity Series, Invets. Invets, founded by veterans for veterans, aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit in the state of Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They are the title sponsor of the Sunday Truck Series and a major sponsor of Goat Locker as a whole. Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans.
Whew, lights are out atop the pace car. We're going to have 11 to go, and we send him back to Green Flag Racing. Like I said, we got Cofield now. He's leading this thing. This has been his the first time he's led all night, and he's leading while it counts, but he's got Mick Horder, who's been strong all night. You know, you mentioned at the top of the broadcast there about, Jacob, about Mark Whitley not getting a win here yet in this series, and Mark Whitley's currently sitting at 8th. I'm not saying he's out of it, but he's got his work cut out for him.
He's one of the favorites regardless of where we go, but whether or not he is considered a spoiler here is going to be a bit of a surprise. Who do you think is going to make the win here?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, I want to see somebody like Bontrager get this done. I don't know. I've always rooted for Bontrager. See what he can do as the pace car ducks off into pit lane.
And my pick for the win is going to be none other than our leader right now. Jonathan Cofield takes him to the green once more at Kansas.
And he gets a heck of a jump out there, so then that allows McWhorter to fall in front of Bontrager there. Now McWhorter is going to have to try to run Cofield back down. We'll see if he can do it. Seeing some smoke down there just behind those two guys. We got a side-by-side battle there, Barrett Morton and Jeremy Gardner. Barrett Morton up high, Jeremy Gardner down low. Jeremy Gardner trying to get the advantage as they go into 3. He's going to have a little help. Wesley Burke just down on his low side just behind him. Going to try to follow him through, trying to get by this 9-car Barrett Morton.
04 needs to make sure he's not getting as low as he is in the corners any more than that, because he is almost all the way on the bottom of the white line. We're seeing the 72 trying to push on the 53 of Jonathan Cofield as we all straighten out onto the backstretch once again. Bontrager now trying to make a challenge for P2. Nothing doing right now. We're going to rack him back up, and we're going to take another look at this.
Oh, McWhorter just a little sideways there, getting in the entrance. He's driving that car super hard. I seen McWhorter get a little sideways, getting on the back of Cofield there, who's currently leading this race. As we're riding on the back bumper of Cofield here, McWhorter looking for a way by. You can see him all the way up there. Seeing, doesn't quite touch the car there, but McWhorter was very loose there that last turn.
Down within 10 laps to go. McWhorter trying to use the air to move the 53 of Cofield out of the corner here. Bontrager still tucked up behind these two, waiting for them to make contact.
Yeah, and you see McWhorter down low, gets the car a little loose and able to get a little bit of a run. Going to get alongside Cofield, our current leader. Then we'll see who has the advantage as they go into 1. McWhorter pushes it down in there. He's down on the inside. Doesn't quite have the momentum, but maybe off on exit as they go side by side down the backstretch.
Cofield's got the momentum from that top line, but McWhorter's going to have to position into the corner. Bontrager down to the bottom, trying to get behind these guys once again. The 72 clears. 49 to the inside. 49 goes around, keeps it straight, keeps it safe, and he is going to start dropping like a rock as we go back down to the front stretch.
Well, there goes my pick. Good job there, Bontrager. He's doing some lawn care service out there on there, but we keep it green. We got a battle. Cofield trying to push back. He's now under threat with the 04. Wesley Burke going to look down on the inside.
Wesley Burke making a run to the inside of the 53 of Jonathan Cofield. He's going to clear him into turns 3 and 4, and 04 might have a run on the 72 here.
Wow, what a power move there. I should have picked the 04, I guess. Man, the power, he just went right in there. I thought he was going to get in the wall as hard as he went into that corner. Let's see if he does it here in 1. Now he's behind McWhorter, looking for a way around McWhorter. He is driving the wheels off that 04 car tonight.
He put it on pole. Can he put it in victory lane? He's starting to close on the back bumper of the 72 within a tenth of a second. We're going to see if he can make the move to make the win up here once we get to the 5 laps to go at the line.
And you can see he's trying, like you said, trying to loosen up McWhorter with that arrow. He's going to, he had a run down on the inside, but McWhorter said, no, you're not going around down there. And then he's looking for a way around as a Dyson Dart going into one here, trying to get the advantage. Does get down below. McWhorter down on the inside. What a heck of a fake out that he does there. Clears McWhorter and now leads this thing.
0-4 back to the lead. 53 going to try and make a move on the 72. McWhorter doesn't know what happened. He's trying to figure out how the 0-4 got such a good run on him. 0-4 jumped out to a quarter second of the lead. Now the 53 of McWhorter is going to try and get back there. 0-4 blinks out for a second, and we are within 4 to go.
As we watch him, he's actually pulling away from McWhorter. And if McWhorter is not careful, he's going to have Cofield back there. Every time I watch McWhorter go in and out of the corner, he's got the rear end of that car just stepping out each and every time. It almost looks like a dirt car as McWhorter's driving the wheels off that thing, but it doesn't look like he has anything for Wesley Burke. Wesley Burke is actually stretching out that lead.
72 of Joseph McWhorter desperately trying to hold on to the second position. Jeremy Gardner back up in position after dueling with the 0-4 earlier. He's going to have a run on Judson Curtis.
Yeah, you can see Justin Curtis is trying to hold on to that position down on the bottom there. 69 on the outside as they go down the backstretch, still side by side, nobody given as we just got a couple laps to go, 3 laps to go, 2 to go this time by when the leader crosses the line.
Judson Curtis going to hold on to the position for now as we're seeing another battle for second. Wesley Burke has stretched out a second on Joseph McWhorter. Where did this come from?
I don't know, but it's actually a lot of fun to watch. Some I can't even talk. I'm so excited. We're looking at McWhorter get through this corner here. Again, that car is almost totally sideways. Got Cofield now looking on the inside. The 29 just behind them. Justin Curtis trying to get by. A heck of a battle here for second place.
Curtis pushes Cofield. 72 on the line. He wasn't taken at all earlier. He's trying to run the top to get to position here. Jonathan Cofield still down to the inside. We got 2 to go here at Kansas.
Yeah, Justin Curtis
1 to
pushing
go.
it. So, yeah, we're under the white flag. They're still side by side for that second place position. Who's going to get it right now? Cofield down on the inside. Wesley Burke currently leading this thing just ahead of him. You can see him up there, but he's pulled away. He's pretty much got this race won. It's now the battle for second.
Best battle on track is musical chairs for second place. Jonathan Cofield has it right now. But Wesley Burke from pole to flag takes the win here at Kansas.
And it looks like Cofield's going to cross the line in second with McWhorter just behind him in third. Justin Curtis fourth, and Jeremy Gardner rounds out your top 5. What a race, Jacob. Man, what a great finish.
What a shootout we saw. Wesley Burke with his first win in Goat Locker, taking it at Kansas here in the Sunday Xfinity Series.
I imagine he's going to be an excited young lad out there as he's headed back to the front stretch to probably do his victory burnouts there. Looks like he's got the leaders coming up here. Cofield giving him a little tap saying, hey, congratulations. Very sportsmanlike conduct out here, but Wesley Burke headed down to do some celebrating.
Yeah, that is a statement win for the SRP team, and that puts Wesley Burke in the playoffs as he's gonna take the role of the 57 and do some lawn work of his own.
I'm really amazed, Jacob, how that race started for him, how he was falling back a little bit, scraping the wall, and then he comes back just out of nowhere at the end of this thing and just drives away from everybody. What a heck of a run.
I mean, they wouldn't have put it on pole if they didn't know how to get around this place. We didn't see it before, but we saw it now. Wesley Burke is your winner here at Kansas. We'll be right back. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back with your unofficial results and the interview with the top 3.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back live at Kansas Motor Speedway with a heck of a finish there. Wesley Burke, your winner tonight. First time winner, locks himself into the championship. Let's go through our results. Wesley Burke, of course, with the win. Jonathan Cofield finishes second after starting in sixth. Joseph McWhorter has a solid night out, rounding out your top three. Judson Curtis, strong night for him as well in fourth. Jeremy Gardner fifth. Mark Whitley sixth. George Jules seventh. Devontae Drain in eighth place. And in ninth will be Logan Sturgis, followed by Barrett Morton in 10th.
Craig Bontrager finishes P11. Lucas Lyons, after that late contact, finishes 12th. Jamie Lipke in 13th. Chuck Feltz in 14th. Brock Price in 15th. David Calvert, your first car a lap down in 16th. Samuel Yosef in 17th. Kyle Deering in 18th. Daniel Parks in 19th. And Charles Aber rounding out your top 20.
And in the 21st position will be Frederick C. Graves Jr. with Kevin Price in 22nd, Tyler Rice 23rd, Armando Melgosa in 24th with Dave Calvert in 25th. Colton Six finishes in 26th, Darren Price 27th, Bobby Bender in 28th, Claire Sisk in 29th, Cody Turner in 30th. Wyatt Dooling will finish in 31st. And Stephen Davis will finish in 32nd with Brandon Wallace wrapping out your 33 car field.
Whew. Well, what a show got put on here tonight. And we are currently waiting for the first place finisher, Wesley Burke. This is Jake in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
What a run. We saw you put it on pole, and then we saw you fall back a little bit toward the beginning. Once that 10-lap shootout at the end came through, how did you get that time to be able to put a second on the rest of the field there?
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize to Bontrager there. I just misjudged a little bit, got in the back of him, and spun him around. But honestly, I have no clue where my speed came from tonight. I was shocked when I put it on pole, and I mean, it looked like I had fresh tires on it, but like I had the same tires as everyone else there then, and oof, like I'm a short track guy. I don't usually run good on intermediates, so to have that speed was really surprising.
Well, that is a statement win. We've seen you put some good runs together throughout most of the season, but you were able to get one up on the heavy favorites here this season. Do you think you can keep this up going forward?
I would like to think so. I'm looking forward to Pocono. It should fit me a little bit better using the brakes and all, and than Dover. So I think I can do it. Just you know,
Solid finish from a solid start here tonight. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the top step of the podium?
I'd like to thank you guys, obviously, and I'd like to thank iRacing for obviously building an amazing game. Yeah, I'd like to thank, sorry, I'd like to thank Invets for sponsoring, Save 22, Glove Station, all of them. and Sim Racing Pride, my team.
All right. Thank you for the time. Congratulations on the win. We'll see you at Pocono.
So yeah,
Well, he had an exciting night there, Jacob. So he sounded like he was pretty excited. Doesn't know where that win even came from, and that was pretty much my response. But speaking of responses, let's get a response from Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan Cofield, last week's winner, couldn't quite get it done tonight, but still a solid run, handing out second place. So tell us what transpired there at the end of that race. It was quite exciting for us up here in the booth.
Oh no, just trying to go for it. That wasn't a fun race in my book. It was like running on the ice. The car just didn't have no grip anywhere. I tried middle, high, bottom. It was just that first pit stop. I think I had 37% left on the right rear, but
Yeah, I was
Matt
watching
Werder, he
those.
was.
I was
Go ahead.
watching those cars. I was watching those cars step out on the rear end tonight. It looks like some of you guys, especially you and McWhorter, were really leaning on the rear of that car, watching those cars step out as you were exiting the corners.
Yeah, and I was just trying to dig harder and try to stay ahead of him because luckily I somehow got come out with the lead, got that caution, and he was good all night, man, saving that right rear. And um, I figured 11 laps maybe I could hold him off, but I just couldn't do it. About about killed us all off two there. Got into the apron a little bit and got plumb sideways, but luckily everybody backed off and we lived to talk about it.
Well, you had a solid finish here tonight, and like you said, everybody lived to talk about it. Mostly, there was a few accidents out there, but a heck of a run. Who do you have to thank for getting you the second place finish here tonight?
Oh, first of all, Invets for coming on board, sponsoring our Xfinity series. A lot of fast guys in here. Always a good time. Want to thank, of course, all you guys doing the broadcast. V Speed. Let's see what I finished second. Jim Perrin Promotions. Uh, Alexander PCs. Just everybody here at Goat Locker, man. I know they did the charity event not too long ago and raised a lot of money. That was awesome to watch. Wish I could have made that, but it was a good show. Uh, like I said, just everybody here at the league appreciate letting us come out here and race. And Cofield supplying service on the car, Cofield Asphalt refinishing. And that's about it, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Jonathan. We'll look forward to seeing what you can bring next week.
Thank you, sir.
That was Jonathan Cofield. Well, I'll tell you what, Jacob, we got only one more driver to interview here.
Yes, we do. We have our third place finisher and a dominant car for most of this race, Joseph McWhorter. This is Jacob in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
So for a majority of this race, you were up at the front. You were super dominant with all of it. Where do you think that speed came from the 0-4 there at the end?
I don't know. I thought he had fresh tires, but then he said he was on the same lap as me or same set as me. So I'm beyond confused. I think maybe he saved when we had that short run, but I also wasn't really pushing. Like I was running basically the same as what I was running whenever in that first 50 laps of the race. So I don't know. I was kind of confused. I thought I did a good job there, but man, late race cautions have been just getting me lately. All of my leagues, GLR, my Friday night, it was a full length challenge on Friday nights or SNR. Man, I've had horrible luck with late race cautions. Uh,
Well, you're locked into the playoffs here. You had a solid run tonight. You led the most laps out of everybody once again here in the series. Do you have any tracks coming up that you think you might have the upper hand on?
yeah, we got Pocono, which I'm really looking forward to next week. That's a really good racetrack for me. I always really love going there. I just won there in my Friday night league. So I'm kind of excited to get there and see
Sorry.
if maybe we can do it again. See if we can't get a win there at Pocono. That track is so much fun. I think it's going to be a good race in this car. We got Vegas as well. I'm not looking forward to Dover. You're going to see me struggle at Dover. I can't stand that racetrack. I've made it very clear in Discord. I'm sure you guys have seen. And then after that, then we get into some good tracks for us for the playoffs, and I'm feeling confident. I just man, my luck has been bad.
Well, we got a mixed bag coming up toward the end of this season. Finally, who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium?
Yeah, I want to thank Red Camera Racing. They've been an awesome partner of mine for the last few years. Amazing equipment that you can get for any race weekend that you need: fire suits, shoes, helmets, anything that you need. They've got it at redcameraracing.com. Outlier Speed Co. You get to see them across the hood and down the fenders. Go check them out at outlierspeedco.com. Super fast setups. They've been really doing some really good work. The guys, Johnny and the boys, have been building some amazing setups on A car, B car, C car. We're even getting into the road course stuff now. So go check them out for some setups. 29 Graphics. Check them out on Trading Paints at 29 Graphics. Uh, Driven Motorsports, my teammate, Mark. I think he had a speeding penalty, so it sucks to see him not quite get the finish that he deserved. You guys for putting on the broadcast, the admins for all the hard work, the drivers for doing a really good job tonight. That was really fun, getting a long run and some green flag pit stops. And just ready to get on to next week at Pocono.
Yes, sir. 3 more weeks left of the regular season. Thank you for your time. We'll see you at Pocono.
Absolutely, boys. Have a good one.
Well, there you have it. Our third place finish in Joseph McWhorter. Jacob, you know what? Next week is the halfway point of the season. Kind of excited, especially after tonight's race. I'm really looking forward to the second half of this season.
Yes, I am. Pocono is a great place. It's a super technical track for being as big as it is, and I can't wait to see how people try to play that one out.
And me being a road course lover, Pocono, as I'm laughing in the background, Pocono is one of those tracks that road course racers love. I love that track. It's going to be a lot of fun to call that race with you next week. Anyway,
Yes,
I guess we should wrap this broadcast up. We had too exciting tonight. We had a first-time winner here, which has been great. So loving to see that. And the green flag racing has been stellar here in this series. And want to thank Invets. Invets helping vets in Indiana, as well as Lincoln Tech putting your potential to work. And of course, Save 22, all great sponsors of this series as we sign off. I'm Ken Huber.
I'm Jacob Lanke.
And we have Eddie Smith on production with Dougie Beard on cameras. I want to thank everyone and have a great night.